What's going on, guys? This is Zach with the Casual Connoisseurs. Today we're going to be brewing an American Pale Ale. It's going to take some time. It's kind of dark out, but we're pretty stoked about it. It's going to be something that is new to us, fresh to us. We've got all brand new equipment, and we're going to take our time with this, pay attention, and we're good. Thanks, man.
All right, guys, so what we have here is a 15-gallon BIAB Classic Amazon Special beer kettle. And what we're doing is we are bringing our mash, or our strike water rather, up to a temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Once we do that, then we'll go ahead and add our bag. Of course, we're doing the brew in a bag style today. And when we do that, we can go ahead and add the grain. So we're gonna kick back, have a couple Founders All Day IPAs and Stella Artois, whatever these boys are drinking, kid beers. And we're just gonna hang out till we get to 160 and we'll see you then. All right, guys, so just a quick start right here. We're basically referring to this document we found online. Zach found this online. It has the whole recipe, instructions, and everything. So Zach's gonna go through the grain bill real quick.
We got 9 pounds of pale malt.
So go ahead and whip that up.
Right here.
And this is pre-crushed, available from our homebrew shop.
Yeah. Hold that. And then we got 1 pound of caramel, 20L.
We don't know what the 20L. I think that's the color. We'll go with the color.
It's got something to do with it.
But it's definitely going to add some color to the beer, which is good. And right now we are at 153 degrees. We're going to cut this at 160 and we are going to begin the mash. All right, guys, so this is a bag that we got from someone that we found online. We'll go ahead and post the link to it in the description of the video, but this is custom made to this kettle. So we're going to go ahead and add that right now. We got 4 more degrees, as you can see. When I put that on the, put this over the handle here. Phil, if you could hold the therm, go ahead and do that.
All right. It is in.
All right.
We are inputted.
Just like fucked up. Where's it at?
Still in the water?
No.
No, it wasn't.
There we go. We should tie this. Do we have any rope?
We need a big ass zip line or whatever.
Ah, we need a... Alright, so for lack of a better tool, we're going to use some tape here, which is not the recommended for this, but it's kind of all we got in a pinch. I completely forgot about holding that to the thing. So go ahead and remove that. Cut the heat. Is the heat off?
Heat is on low.
I would cut it completely. So we're going to cut the heat completely, and we're going to begin the mash. I would leave that in there.
Oh, I thought you said take it out.
Nah, leave that in there.
It's like fishing. Horrible.
So again, tape is not recommended for this, but it's all we got, so we're going to make do with what we got. I'm going to hold that.
Wait.
That's all we got.
But is it not going to melt?
The tape? Maybe. We'll see what happens here. Just going to wrap that around.
Alright, we got to get these grains in, Mikey. Yep.
Alright, is the heat cut completely?
Yep.
Alright, heat cuts completely, guys.
Is that tape for... Oh, shut that up. Is the tape okay on the kettle? Boys? Yeah. Yeah? You got scissors? You got it with keys. Some heavy duty plastic right here.
Alright guys, so what we're going to do is begin adding our grains to the strike water. And we're not going to add the whole bag at once because that'll cause clumps to occur. So we're just going to kind of get Mike over here in charge of stirring and go ahead and start pouring that in there.
Very slowly. Move it around.
There you go. That's good.
I'll tell you right now, it smells exactly like what it is. That is very cool.
Should I move to the left a little bit?
To the right.
Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and while they finish that up, we're going to grab our second bit of grains. Again, this is the pound of caramel.
Wheat thins are like fucking wheat. Cracker? Ritz? No. No. It's like close. It's like wheat thins. Pretty shitty cracker. It smells exactly like wheat thins. You know what I'm talking about? No, it's not wheat thins. No. It's a food though. Yeah. It's like a chip or something. It's like chips. Biscuits. Those like. Is it dog biscuits? No. Cheez-Its. It kind of smells like Cheez-Its. It's Cheez-Its. That's the cheesy. Doesn't the guy talking about it smelling like cheese, kind of like a cheesy smell? Didn't someone say that?
I don't think that ever happened.
That's it. It's Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. I fucking eat cheese like my job.
Alright guys.
Holy shit, it does smell like Cheez-Its. Original. Yeah. Original, maybe like...
So we're going to mix this. By now, we have all the grains submerged. We're going to mix that for a little bit. We're going to close the lid, take it inside. Hope to keep it at around 152, 154 degrees Fahrenheit for the mash, and we will begin. As soon as we put the lid on, we're going to begin a 1-hour timer.
Trying to mash
and that will complete the mash. So we'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, so as I mentioned, we went ahead and brought the kettle inside to do the mash. We have it about 158. It's going to drop down. Our target's about 154, but we'd rather be a little over than a little under. So we're going to go ahead and let this sit. We're going to stir it every 15 minutes. We have a timer set for 60 minutes, and we'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, so what we see here is actually a yeast starter that's been going for about 20 hours now. We have a mixing plate. There's actually a magnetic bar inside here that we added our Y Yeast 1056 smack pack to 2 cups of water and a half cup of DME. I don't know what DME stands for. It's basically
dry malt extract.
There you go, dry malt extract. That's right. So essentially what we're doing is like a very small batch of beer that's getting the yeast active and ready to be added to our beer.
It's expanding the cells.
Yeah, and they are multiplying, and they'll be ready to take on a 5-gallon batch of beer. So this thing's been stirring. Some people do it for several days. I just decided to do it for 24 hours. It looks like my yeast are going pretty good, and we will show you more on that later. We have ended the 1 hour of mashing, and as you can see, the temperature stayed right where we wanted it. We are going to remove the bag right now, let it drain back in. And once that happens, we're going to put it on a grill grate, let it sit here and drain while we get this thing up to a boil. So we haven't started the flame yet. We're going to do that as soon as we have this on the grill grate, and we're going to let it drain. And since we're at 153, it shouldn't take that long to get us up to the temperature that we want it so we get a boil.
This is a 16.9 alcohol by volume. It's very good. Joe, check this out. 16.9 alcohol by volume.
Wow, that's what I was
You want to try this shit? This is fucking 98%. Fucking godlike.
Is this aged in some type of barrel?
Yeah.
All right, he's the aged barrel guy. I'm not an aged barrel guy, but that is pretty solid.
Stout aged in bourbon barrels.
I could only drink
Avery
one. That's
Brewing.
a starter beer. That's a starter beer for the record.
This?
Can I get a little sip of
Alright guys, while they're over there tasting a bunch of beers, I'm gonna go ahead and take
It's fucking
this
dang.
off. It's like a mixed drink beer.
Probably really no point in doing this, but I just want to do it anyway. Once we're done with this, like I said, we're going to lift up the bag. We're going to have to undo this tape, which is where it would have made a lot more sense to have something like a bungee cord. But in any case, we're rolling with what we got. We're going to go ahead and lift this back. So what we're going to do is Zach here is going to put his beer down. He's going to lift this. He doesn't look too happy about that. We're only going to lift it. We're going to keep it in the air for just I don't know, a minute or two, because that's going to get the majority of the liquid out, and then we're going to put this grill grate under. I'm going to sterilize it real quick. We've already washed it down. We've already removed a whole bunch of the oil that came on this. It's never been used, so I'm just going to spray it for peace of mind. Of course, I'm using Star San with the recommended concentration into water, and we're going to go ahead and let Zach have his workout day as it's draining. We're just under 8 gallons. Again, we put 9 gallons of water in this thing because of this reason. We knew that the grains were going to absorb some of the water. So we're going to let this sit on the grill grate. As I said, we've already sanitized it. We've removed a bunch of the oil. It's going to do its thing and drain a whole bunch of water. and then we're gonna get this back up to a boil. We're gonna go ahead and cut the flame back on here in a minute. We'll get this thing boiling, and we'll be back in a few. Okay guys, so what we've done here is, like I said, we put this on a grill grate and it is dripping slowly. Our pre-boil volume, like I said, is about 8 gallons, a little bit higher than we wanted, but that's fine. Our gravity reading is just where we wanted at 1.045. We have the propane going, we have the flame going. We're going to bring this to a boil. Once it's at a boil, we'll let that sit for 1 hour, and we're going to begin our hop schedule, and we'll get to that here in a minute. All right guys, so we finally have a boil here, and it is starting to look like it's hop times. Can we get the time, Zach? We're going to go ahead and take note of our time. We're going to boil
I do not
this.
have a time.
All right, we got a time
5 minutes
somewhere.
to 4 o'clock.
So we got 5 of 4. We're going to mark that down. We're going to do our first hops addition. This is 0.5 ounces of Cascade. We're just going to go ahead and throw that thing in there.
Woohoo!
Hi, my name's Joe.
Stop,
GPS.
stop, stop.
I need to make sure my GPS is working. Check it out, guys. I got a hop edition for my GPS.
What we're doing right here is we're adding our second hop addition, which is 1 ounce of Amarillo. I believe that's how you pronounce it, hops. And so basically what we're going to do is we're just going to drop this right into the brew and stir it a little bit. We're 45 minutes into our boil, and we'll see you at the next hop addition.
Where's our spoon at?
Alright guys, so what we have here is a wort chiller. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to drop this into the boil here in about 5 minutes just to get all the germs off of it, whatever. We've already rinsed it down. We're going to go ahead and sanitize it with some Star San. And basically we're just going to have water going through this thing, and it will help us to cool down the wort to a much better temperature for yeast, which will be right about 70-75 degrees.
You're good to go.
Okay guys, so we have reached 60 minutes into our boil, which means we're going to go ahead and do flame out, which is what it sounds like. We're literally going to turn the flame off. And then we're going to start pumping water through our wort chiller, and we're going to get this thing down to about 70 degrees. We're going to do that now. We'll see you in a couple.
Oh, yeah. We are currently using the wort chiller to chill what we have been boiling for a while.
Yeah, let's Zach do it. Let's Zach do it.
Right now we have the wort chiller on. We are going to chill this boil down to a 70 degree, and then we are going to
Pitch the yeast and add it to the carboy.
pitch the yeast and add it to the carboy. Nice.
Now you got a pretty tense situation in here. You got the grill going in, the fucking beer.
Yeah, we've got a grill going with food. We've got beer we've been drinking. We're putting the thermometer in so we can adjust once we get down to 70 degrees. And after we get to 70 degrees, we will pitch this yeast right into it. Pitching sounds real weird, but we're going to do that. Phil and fucking Taylor.
All right guys, so we're down to temperature about 70 degrees. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the wort chiller off, and we're going to go ahead and pour that into our carboy. As you can see right here, it's been sanitized, the funnel's been sanitized. Once all that is poured in, we'll go ahead and come back and show you what it looks like to pitch the yeast. Just be quick. You gotta whip this. All right guys, so this is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling. Stop.
What did I just say?
There you go. And it's going to take a couple minutes.
Are you aiming?
This is heavy. This is heavy, boys.
It's not heavy, dude. Let go a little bit.
You got this?
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's a good job. That's good.
Do we?
Yeah, do you want to,
You can honestly pour it from the top right now.
cut it, and someone hold this on the ground. I need hop on her.
Is that Hop Hunter? Is that Torpedo?
Torpedo, stop with this fucking song.
What do you guys say to these lovely people out there?
Oh, there's my beer.
He's got it.
This is a Sierra Nevada Hop Hunter.
Whoa!
Joe gets so mad when I yell at cars.
Do it again.
I gotta wait for someone to drive that way because he gets so pissed and I'm like, fuck you! These guys are cool. Are you filming? You know you have to pull it, right?
Yeah, but are you filming?
Yep.
All right, guys, so what we're about to do is we're going to siphon out. Yo, don't mix that. Did you mix that? No. All right, so as you can see, we did a cold crash. The yeast particles have settled to the bottom. We're going to try and only get the top part. If we miss and we get a couple of the particles, that's fine. But basically, we're going to sanitize this. Sanitize this.
The inhale needs to be sanitized.
I didn't know I was supposed to hold it steady.
Take the foil off that. Try and hold it steady.
You're too fucking dumb to do it the other way.
Drop it down a little bit.
And hit it with the tilt.
Yeah,
Tilt it to the side. There you go. That's my Philly.
Get it in there.
You do it again, Dan.
Take it out and do. Take it out. Put it that back.
Put it
Yeah.
actually in the.
And then put it in the yeast. Yeah, and then do it now. Now.
Now you do it. You need to go lower.
It's supposed to happen.
Is it not working?
It's supposed to work. Oh. What's that? Do it again.
It ain't working.
Put it down there, buddy.
No, I think I'm supposed to be higher than you guys. I'm supposed to be up.
All right, guys.
You want to try it again? Not do it.
Can we do it?
Push it down and then pull it back up.
Get the hose. The hose is not in there.
The hose needs to be dipped. Someone hold it higher.
It's not pulling. I don't know why.
All right. Undo this video. I think I got it. Why can't you just fucking get this out of here? Sorry.
You got it?
Hold that and get out of the shot, please.
Why don't you just start with your middle?
It's fine. It's fine. It's
We
fine.
need
Just
Harry
pour it in.
Boss.
I'm just gonna do this. We can get the particle in here. It's fine. All right, guys, so what we have here is our yeast. It's been starting for about 24 hours, and we're just going to pitch this directly into the funnel. Everything has been sanitized at this point. We're going to drop it in, and we're going to finish pouring the beer on top of the yeast.
Slowly. Very slowly. The live organism, buddy. Oh my God, Joe. Jesus.
Literally.
Joe, how do you feel about that?
I feel pretty bad because we were just making fun of someone for dropping his mixing bar into his fermenter.
Just edit the sound so that little drop's not in there. Nobody will tell.
Oh,
I'm gonna edit this
it's
down for it to
there.
be like a sub bass drop in the middle of it. It's just gonna be like boom.
Long story short, guys, we shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. We're going to use a siphon to get all of this out, so we won't actually
Touch.
mess with the stir bar too much.
All right, let's go ahead and get the rest of it.
We're going to finish pouring the beer in here, and we'll be done in just a second. We'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so basically what we have here is an improvised version of dropping the temperature of our fermenter a couple of degrees. We have some water in that Rubbermaid there. We also have some ice. We're going to go ahead and check the temperature daily. I imagine it's going to be just under 70 degrees based on the temperature I've taken in here. That's right where we want to be. As you can see, we have 6.5 gallons in our 6.5 gallon carboy. We have our bong and our airlock. Both have been sterilized, or sanitized rather. And essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to check this here in a day or so. We should start to see bubbles start to come out of the top and the airlock. We're going to let this sit for about a week, and in a week we're going to throw this thing into our secondary fermenter and add some more hops. So until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to have another video when we actually bottle this stuff and ultimately when we get to taste it. But thanks a lot for being with us along for the ride.